Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is VC Pramod with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds the new education policy as a game changer, emphasizes on its holistic implementation. Country's first Kisan Special Parcel train flagged off from Devlali railway station of Maharashtra. On National Handloom Day, the Prime Minister urges people to be vocal for handmade and strengthen efforts towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 67.98%. Government proposes to launch a national clinical registry for data collection. And US President Donald Trump bans Chinese apps, terms it a threat to national security. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said the new education policy, or NEP, is a game changer to empower students. Addressing the inaugural NEP conclave, Mr. Modi emphasized the holistic implementation of NEP. Prime Minister Modi added, this conclave will give more information on NEP, which will further help in its better implementation.
इस कॉन्क्लेव से भारत के एजुकेशन वर्ल्ड को नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति के विभिन्न पहलुओं के बारे में विस्तृत जानकारी मिलेगी। जितनी जानकारी और ज्यादा जानकारी ज्यादा स्पष्ट होगी, फिर उतना ही आसान इस राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन भी होगा.
Saying that education overhaul was the need of the hour, the Prime Minister said country's education system must meet global standards. He added the new education policy will lay the foundation for a new India.
राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 21वीं सदी के भारत की नए भारत की फाउंडेशन तैयार करने वाली है. 21वीं सदी के भारत को हमारे युवाओं और हमारे युवाओं को जिस तरह की एजुकेशन की जरूरत है, जैसी स्किल्स चाहिए, राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति पर इन बातों के विशेष फोकस हैं.
He said students and youths should strive for being global citizens but must not forget their roots. He stressed on teaching in regional languages as it will help young students. The Prime Minister said the burden on students should be reduced as there is an overload of information and content. Quoting former President APJ Abdul Kalam, the Prime Minister said the purpose of education is to make good human beings. Calling for faster reforms for a better India, Mr. Modi said students should work towards curiosity and commitment-driven life. He said NEP stresses on teachers' learning and teachers make enlightened students. The Prime Minister welcomes questions and doubts on the NEP. He said students will now have the freedom to switch courses and higher education is now free of specific streams. Saying inquiry, analysis, discussion-based learning will strengthen the education system, the Prime Minister highlighted how this NEP was framed after a long thinking. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate Rashtriya Swachhata Kendra tomorrow. The Kendra is an interactive experience centre on the Swachh Bharat mission, which was first announced by Mr. Modi on the occasion of the centenary celebrations of Gandhiji's Champaran Satyagraha in 2017. The Swachh Bharat mission has transformed rural sanitation in India and has changed the behaviour of over 55 crore people from open defecation to using a toilet. Mr. Modi will also interact with 36 school students from Delhi, representing the 36 states and union territories at the amphitheatre of the centre, adhering to social distancing protocols. This will be followed by the Prime Minister's address to the nation. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha was administered the oath of office in secrecy as Lieutenant Governor of the Union Territory by Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir High Court, Geeta Mittal, in the lawns of the Raj Bhavan today. MOS in Prime Minister's office, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and a selected number of bureaucrats and political leaders were present on the occasion, keeping in view the prevailing COVID-19 circumstances. Girish Chandra Murmu had resigned as the LG of the Union Territory on the 5th of August and subsequently was appointed as Comptroller and Auditor General CAG of India.
Ministry of Railways Piyush Goyal and Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar today flagged off the country's first Kisan Special Parcel Train or Kisan Rail through video link. The first train will transport material between Maharashtra's Devlali and Bihar's Danapur railway station. The Kisan Rail will carry fruits and vegetables and will make stoppages at several stations and pick up and deliver them. The train will cover a distance of 1,519 kilometers in around 32 hours. It will halt at Nasik Road, Manmad, Jalgaon, Bhusawal, Burhanpur, Khandwa, Itarsi, Jabalpur, Satna, Katni, Manikpur, Prayagraj, Chioki, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Nagar and Buxar. Speaking on the occasion, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said Kisan Rail will prove to be a milestone and will bring prosperity to farmers.
यह किसान रेल निश्चित रूप से कृषि उत्पाद को एक स्थान से दूसरे स्थान तक ले जाने में सस्ते किराए में सफल होगी और किसान को उसके उत्पादन का उचित मूल्य मिल सकेगा और उपभोक्ता को हर जगह खाद्य सामग्री की उपलब्धता हो सके और विशेष रूप से फल हैं, सब्जियां हैं, फूल हैं जो एकदम कम आबादी वाले उत्पाद हैं, इनके लिए तो यह किसान रेल रामबाण सिद्ध होगी। आने वाले कल में किसान को समृद्ध बनाने के दृष्टि से यह मील का पत्थर साबित होगी।
He said for transportation of agri-products, Kisan Rail was announced in the budget. He said due to corona pandemic, all development works were stopped, but due to the efforts of hardworking farmers, agriculture was not affected in the country. Thanking the Railway Ministry, Mr. Tomar said there was no crisis of food grains during this COVID pandemic as 4,610 trains transported food grains in 96 routes. Minister for Railways Piyush Goyal said Kisan Rail will help farmers becoming Atmanirbhar, self-dependent and bring prosperity to their lives.
देश जुड़ता है, किसान जुड़ता है, किसान का उपलब्ध देश भर में जाता है। इससे ज्यादा खुशी की बात मैं समझता हूं हम सब के लिए और कोई नहीं हो सकता।
He said on this day in 1853, the first train between Boribandar to Thane, and in 2020 it is again making history with Kisan Rail. The minister said during COVID-19 crisis, food grain supply by railways has been doubled. A report.
The first Kisan Rail will transport material between Maharashtra's Devlali and Bihar's Danapur railway stations. The Kisan Rail will carry fruits and vegetables and will make stoppages at several stations and pick up and deliver them. The train will cover a distance of 1,519 kilometers in around 32 hours. It will halt at Nasik Road, Manmad, Jalgaon, Bhusawal, Burhanpur, Khandwa, Itarsi, Jabalpur, Satna, Katni, Manikpur, Prayagraj, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Nagar and Buxar. With the launch of Kisan Rail, the Railways aims to help double farmers' income. The Kisan Rail will, with frozen container, is expected to build a seamless national cold supply chain for perishables inclusive of fish, meat and milk. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Textiles Minister Smriti Irani today inaugurated the celebration of the 6th National Handloom Day 2020. She also launched mobile app and a portal to propagate handloom industry. Speaking on the occasion, Mrs. Irani said the government is aiming to connect weavers and other stakeholders digitally. She said through this handloom portal, people can get information regarding programs launched by the Textile Ministry. Mrs. Irani said the handloom industry is the most ancient industry of India and plays a very significant role in the country's economy since the very beginning.
ये हमारा उद्देश्य है कि देश भर में हम 10 क्राफ्ट और हैंडलूम के विलेजेस को विकसित करें ताकि हमारे देश का हैंडलूम का प्रोडक्ट मात्र कपड़ों तक, होम फर्निशिंग तक सीमित ना रहे। विश्व भर में इस बात की जिज्ञासा है कि हमारे बुनकर धागों के माध्यम से अपने सपनों को कैसे पिरोते हैं और हम चाहते हैं कि विश्व भर का और देश का पर्यटक इन विशेष क्राफ्ट और हैंडलूम विलेज में जाए, न सिर्फ बुनकर के ताने बाने को समझे, सीखे, बल्कि उसमें सहयोग देकर हमारा जो मेक इन इंडिया आत्मनिर्भर भारत का संकल्प है उसमें अपनी ओर से योगदान दे।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today greeted all those associated with the nation's vibrant handloom and handicraft sector. On National Handloom Day, the Prime Minister said they have made commendable efforts to preserve the indigenous crafts of the country. In a tweet, Mr. Modi urged countrymen to be vocal for handmade and strengthen efforts towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Our correspondent reports that the National Handloom Day is observed every year on the 7th of August to honor the handloom weavers in the country.
Vice President Venkaiah Naidu has said it is necessary to build resilient individuals, households and communities to manage disasters. He spoke through video conferencing in the consultation on Science for Resilient Food, Nutrition and Livelihoods being organized by the Chennai-based Dr. M.S. Swaminathan Foundation. The Vice President observed that the prevailing pandemic may aggravate hunger and undernourishment because of the loss of livelihoods and global economic slowdown. However, he said, healthy, socially connected and well-prepared people can counter disasters comparatively much easier. The veteran and the world-renowned agricultural scientist Dr. M.S. Swaminathan in his address insisted that women should be given more roles and land-holding rights to improve agriculture. A unique patriotic film festival begins today as part of the Independence Day celebrations organized by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said in a video message that we should celebrate 73 years of independence with the online Patriotic Film Festival, which will be on till the 21st of this month. The festival showcases Indian history that marks the bravery of our freedom fighters. It will showcase Indian history that marks the bravery of freedom fighters and aims to create a festive and patriotic mood among Indians across the globe. Critically acclaimed films from various Indian languages, including Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, Bengali, Gujarati and Malayalam will be showcased in the festival. A special edition of the film Gandhi by Sir Richard Attenborough will also be made accessible and can be enjoyed by people with vision and hearing impairment.
इसमें एक विशेषता है, गांधी फिल्म को सबके लिए एक्सेसिबल बनाया है, यानी दिव्यांगजन कोई है जिसको सुनाई नहीं देता या दिखता नहीं, उनको भी फिल्म का आनंद आए, इस तरह की व्यवस्था की है। ये शायद पहली दफा हो रहा है। आप इस 7 अगस्त से 21 अगस्त तक होने वाले इस उत्सव में जरूर शामिल होइए।
The festival will showcase high-quality Independence Day themed patriotic films daily at the website www.cinemasofindia.com free of cost.
The centre has initiated the Jal Jeevan Mission to provide safe and adequate drinking water to every rural household of the country by 2024 with the motto Har Ghar Jal. To achieve this goal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi created a new Jal Shakti Ministry last year in his second term. The Ministry of Jal Shakti has been implementing the mission in partnership with states with an aim to provide potable water in adequate quantity of the prescribed quality through tap connections to every rural household in the country. Our correspondent reports that under the Jal Jeevan Mission, the focus is on 256 water-stressed districts and 1,592 water-stressed blocks.
The mission is aimed at providing drinking water in every rural household, which will certainly improve the lives of rural population, especially women and girls. This will also save them from drudgery as well as waterborne diseases. There are about 19 crore households in the country and only 24% have freshwater household tap connections. Earlier, only 16% of the households had access to drinking water through tap connection, and after the implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission, drinking tap water now reaches to 25% of households in the country. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
Moving on to our special segment on Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, bring about blue revolution through sustainable and responsible development of fisheries sector in India. Government has launched Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. The aims and objectives of the scheme is to harness fisheries potential in a sustainable, responsible, inclusive and equitable manner. It also aims to enhance fish production and productivity through expansion, intensification, diversification and productive utilization of land and water. Modernizing and strengthening of value chain, post-harvest management and quality improvement is also one of its objectives. The aim is to double fish farmers' incomes and generation of employment. The government is also focusing on social, physical and economic security for fishers and fish farmers through the scheme.
The Enforcement Directorate ED today raided multiple premises in various cities in connection with a money laundering case. It was linked to an alleged corruption in the purchase of 75 Pilatus basic trainer aircraft for the Indian Air Force in 2009. Our correspondent quoting officials reports the case involves absconding arms consultant Sanjay Bhandari. The CBI had filed a criminal case in the 2,895 crore rupees Pilatus deal in June last year.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds the new education policy as a game changer, emphasizes on its holistic implementation. Country's first Kisan special parcel train flagged off from Devlali railway station of Maharashtra. On National Handloom Day, Prime Minister urges people to be vocal for handmade and strengthen efforts towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 67.98%. Government proposes to launch a national clinical registry for data collection. US President Donald Trump bans Chinese apps, terms it as a threat to national security. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The total number of people who have recovered from COVID-19 in the country surpassed the 13.5 lakh mark today. A total of 13,78,105 people have recovered so far. In the past 24 hours, 49,769 recoveries have been reported across the country. With this, the recovery rate has improved to 67.98%. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said a total of 62,538 new cases of coronavirus have been reported in the country within 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 20,27,074. This is the highest number of new cases registered in a single day since the outbreak of COVID-19 in India. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 6,07,384. 886 deaths have been reported during the past 24 hours, taking the nationwide toll to 41,585. The case fatality rate has further declined to 2.05% in the country. Meanwhile, the Indian Council of Medical Research said that a total of 2,27,88,393 tests have been conducted in the country so far. Various laboratories across the country conducted 6,39,042 tests of coronavirus samples till yesterday. At present, 1,383 laboratories across India are conducting the tests for COVID-19, including 931 government laboratories and 452 private laboratory chains. The government is set to launch a national clinical registry for COVID-19. The main objective of this registry is to collect real-time clinical data which will help in evidence-based clinical practice, research, formulation of guidelines and policy making. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR and All India Institute of Medical Sciences have proposed to establish a COVID-19 clinical registry for data collection from 100 hospitals across the country. The duration of the study will be 1 year and any COVID-19 lab confirmed and hospitalized patient will be enrolled.
In Bihar, 60,254 tests were conducted during the last 24 hours. This is the highest number of tests in a single day so far. About 8 lakh tests have been conducted so far. Number of recovered patients mounted to 43,820 with fresh recovery cases of 1,450. Recovery rate stands at over 64%. In Tripura, 6 more persons lost their lives yesterday. This is the single highest COVID-related fatal report in the state so far. With this, the death toll has risen to 36, which is the second highest in the entire northeastern region of India, while Assam being the highest. Meanwhile, another 128 persons have tested positive out of 2,764 test samples, taking the total number of positive cases to 5,761. So far, 3,860 persons have recovered, while 1,826 COVID patients are undergoing treatment.
In Manipur, a state cabinet meeting held yesterday evening decided to extend the ongoing statewide complete lockdown till the 15th of August, considering the increased number of COVID-19 positive cases in the state. In Mizoram, 19 fresh coronavirus positive cases were detected today till this afternoon. Out of the new cases, 18 are truck drivers and 1 local person. They were tested positive out of 320 people tested with rapid antigen test till this afternoon. According to an official statement, more than 600 trucks are stranded on the highway between Thingdol and Sethon village in Kolasib district, and their tests are going on.
In Tamil Nadu, the legislator has turned COVID-19 positive. The Tanjavur MLA TKG Neelamegam, representing the main opposition DMK, is admitted into the Government Medical College Hospital today. He is the third MLA from the district to undergo treatment for the viral disease. Meanwhile, the Tamil Nadu Governor Banwarilal Purohit is reported stable, as said in a health bulletin by the Kaveri Hospital in Chennai. Its doctors are monitoring the governor's health, who is under self-isolation in the Raj Bhavan. The legendary playback singer S.P. Balasubramaniam is also under treatment for COVID-19 in a private hospital in Chennai. He is reported to be stable. The Phase 1 clinical trial of the indigenously developed vaccine, Covaxin, for COVID-19 is underway in Nagpur in Maharashtra. Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech developed the vaccine for coronavirus has been administered on 55 volunteers and nobody has reported complications so far, and the company is planning to start its second phase from the 10th of August. More details in this report from our Mumbai correspondent.
The clinical trial of Covaxin is being conducted at Narcos Gilderschool Hospital. The trial, which began on 27th of July, has completed 11 days now. Director of the hospital, Dr. Chandrasekhar Godarkar, said 3 mg intramuscular dose was given to each volunteer over a period of time and no case of reaction was reported so far. The hospital has achieved a unique feat as it ranks second in conducting clinical trials of this vaccine developed by the Hyderabad-based company. PGI Rohtak ranked first as it has conducted trials on 80 volunteers. Dr. Gilderkar said a 20-year-old youth and 2 others will be given second dose of this vaccine on 10th of August. Likewise, they will be vaccinated after a gap of 28 days, 42 days, 104 days, and 194th day. After each dose, the blood sample of these volunteers will be collected to check the antibodies present in them. With Kunal Shinde, Devupriya Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Karnataka, out of 1,58,254 COVID patients, 80,281 have recovered till date. The recovery rate has improved from 39.3% during last month end to 50.73% yesterday. The fatality rate in the state has come down from 2% in the end of last month to 1.8% today. The famous Chanderi and Maheshwari saris of Madhya Pradesh will soon be available in the Lok Sabha and the legislative assemblies of the various states. This proposal of organizing exhibitions of Madhya Pradesh Handloom and Handicrafts Development Corporation has also been approved by the government. More from our correspondent.
According to the official information, exhibitions of Chanderi and Maheshwar sarees and other handloom products of the state will be held in the Lok Sabha, 29 legislative assemblies and 7 union territories. As per the proposal, a 7-day exhibition will be held in the state assemblies in the first phase. The Handloom Corporation has also sent a proposal for permission to exhibit its products in the Lok Sabha. The State Handloom Commissioner Rajiv Sharma informed that this is probably the first time when handloom and handicraft products of the state will be displayed on such a large scale. If this effort is successful, showrooms will also be opened in all these places in the next phase. It is worth noting that the exhibition of Chanderi sarees was also held in London and it was highly appreciated by the visitors. Madhya Pradesh handloom brand Mragnani currently has 36 showrooms across the country. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
US President Donald Trump has signed executive orders banning popular Chinese apps like TikTok and WeChat, terming them a threat to national security and to the country's economy. The ban comes into effect in 45 days. India was the first country to ban TikTok and WeChat, citing national security concerns. India has banned as many as 106 Chinese apps. In a communique to the Congress, the US President said the spread in the United States of mobile applications developed and owned by the companies in China continues to threaten the national security, foreign policy and economy of the country. He said TikTok, a video-sharing mobile application owned by the Chinese company ByteDance Limited, automatically captures vast swaths of information from its users. To deal with this threat, President Trump delegated power to the Commerce Secretary to take such actions, including adopting appropriate rules and regulations and to employ all powers granted to the President by the International Emergency Economic Powers Act as may be necessary to implement the order. In Sri Lanka, party led by Prime Minister Ranil Mahinda Rajapaksa and its allies have secured 2/3 seats at the general elections held on Wednesday. Sri Lanka People's Party SLPP has won 145 seats in the 225-member parliament, while the allies have managed to clinch more than 5 seats. Mr. Rajapaksa is likely to be sworn in as Prime Minister at the weekend after results are notified. He had taken over the reins of the caretaker government after his younger brother Gotabaya Rajapaksa had emerged victorious at last November presidential elections. He received a record number of over 5 lakh preferential votes in his electoral district, breaking earlier record of former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who has lost the elections this time. President Gotabaya has expressed confidence of establishing a strong parliament to implement his policies.
As heavy rain continues to lash across Kerala, landslides are being reported in many hilly regions of the state.
A massive landslide occurred in Rajmala in Idukki district in early hours today. Local authorities informed that 5 people lost their life and many are feared to be trapped under soil. Rescue operations are in full swing in the region. A team of National Disaster Response Force has also reached the area. There are also reports of landslide in forest regions of Sabarimala in Pathanamthitta district and also in Wayanad district. As heavy rain continues, widespread damage is being reported from northern and central Kerala. Red alert issued in Malappuram district today. At many places, road transport and electricity service is being interrupted. Relief camps and control rooms started functioning in all districts. As water level in major rivers are rising, shutters of dams are being opened. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
Heavy rain with strong surface winds continue to lash north interior Karnataka, coastal Karnataka and Malnad region. Kaveri, Tungabhadra and Krishna river basins are at spate in some places. The district administration in rain-affected districts has deployed disaster relief force and PWD workers to clear roads cut off due to landslides. More from our correspondent.
5 persons are missing in Bhagamandala after hillock fell over 2 houses sheltering temple priests. Efforts are on to clear the landslide. Bhagamandala recorded a record 388 mm rainfall. Bhagandeshwara temple in Bhagamandala is flooded due to heavy rain. Bhagamandala-Talkaveri route is cut off due to landslides. The road linking Madikeri with Mangaluru in South Canara along NH 225 is cut off due to landslide. Charmudi Ghat section is also cut off due to the landslide. Kumaradhara river at Kukke Subramanya temple is at spate. In Lingasuguru Taluk near Raichur, Shilhalli bridge over river Krishna is inundated. Houses are partially damaged in Haveri due to torrential rain. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Now let us take a look at today's weather update. The national capital Delhi may witness partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. The minimum temperature was recorded at 28 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 36 degrees. Mumbai will experience generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature will be around 27 degrees. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 27 and 35 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis was 26 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 29 degrees. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature in Jammu was 29 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 35 degrees Celsius. The city will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. In Srinagar, minimum temperature was 21 degrees, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees Celsius. Ladakh will have mainly clearly sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will be between 30 and 20 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 19 and 37 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, there will be partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. The minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature will be around 36 degrees.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds the new education policy as a game changer, emphasizes on its holistic implementation. Country's first Kisan special parcel train flagged off from Devlali railway station of Maharashtra. On National Handloom Day, the Prime Minister urges people to be vocal for handmade and strengthen efforts towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 67.98%. Government proposes to launch a national clinical registry for data collection. And US President Donald Trump bans Chinese apps, terms it a threat to national security. And with that, we end the midday news.